everyone, today I read a book with the name Swimming with Dolphins. Chapter 1. The dolphin jumped high up out the water. "Whoa," said Rosie. "Can we swim with it?" "Sorry," said Dan Miller, a scientist who worked with the dolphins. Grandpa, Ben, Rosie, and Alice were visiting them years ago. He was one of Grandpa's students. "All our dolphins have had injuries," they explained. "We help them to go out to the sea again when they are ready. Before we send a dolphin out to sea, we put a small radio on its fin," explained Dad. "Then we can follow it on the computer. Come and see." Grandpa and the children went with Dan into an office. In the office, a scientist was sitting in front of a computer. She turned in her chair and said, "Dan, come and look at this. There's a problem with Ludo." "Who's Ludo?" asked Alice. "Ludo is a young dolphin that we look after for a long time," said Dan. "We sent him back to the sea a few days ago." He looked at the computer unhappily. "What's the problem?" asked Grandpa. "Ludo has been under the water for 20 minutes, said Dan. "He isn't moving." "Can't dolphins stay under the water for a long time?" asked Ben. "Yes, but dolphins aren't fish. They breathe air, so they have to come up to breathe. After 34 or 40 minutes, said Dan. "Ludo needs help. There isn't enough enough time to read him in the boat," said the scientist at the computer. "That's okay," said Grandpa. "My van is outside. It's much faster than any boat. Come on." They all went quickly to the dock. Chapter 2. While Glenn drove, Ken got his diving equipment ready. Ludo was a little afraid, so he stayed close to the shore. Just explained, "Perhaps he can't move because of a fishing line." He looked at his watch. "When will we arrive there?" "We are there now," said Glenn. The children looked out the window, blew at the blue sky all around them. "Please land on the grandpa told the robot. "While we are doing this, you can dive into the water and help the dolphin, Dan," said Grandpa. But Dan doesn't answer. He hit his head when the van hit the rock, said Ben. Rosie jumped up. "What are you doing?" Ben asked. His little sister was putting on some diving equipment. "I'm the best swimmer and I know how to dive," Rosie said quickly. Rosie went, began Alice. Ludo needs our help now, said Rosie. Ben, can you after then? Look after then. I'm going to help Ludo. She put the diving mask over her face and jumped into the water. Chapter 3. Ben tried to explain. Rosie dived into the water to help Ludo. He said he needs help quickly, then looked very afraid. I've lived here often, he said. It can be very dangerous. Why? Asked Alice. There's a shark here, said Dan. For the first time, Grandpa looked up from his work. In the water, Rosie was swimming down. She was a strong swimmer and she loved being in the sea. But each time she did not stop to look at any of the fish as they swam past her. Thus, she saw a large shape close to the sea floor. It was Ludo. The dolphin was moving his tail up and down, but he could not swim away. When she was close enough, Rosie saw the problem. There was an old fishing line around Ludo's body. One end of the line was around a rock on the sea floor. Rosie tried to break the fishing line, but it was too strong. Carefully, she started to take the fishing line off the dolphin. Ludo stopped kicking his tail. He understands that, Rosie. He's trying to help me. At last, Rosie pulled away the fishing line. Ludo could swim again. Rosie watched happily as the dolphin kicked his tail and swam up to get some air. Rosie began to swim up, too. Then she saw a large shape in the water. What's Ludo doing now? She thought. But the shape wasn't Ludo. It wasn't a dolphin. It was a shark. Chapter 4. On the van, Dan was looking for more diving equipment. Can we take the van under the water? Asked Alice. Not until I fix it, said Grandpa. Ben was watching the water nervously. Suddenly, a head came up out of the water. There's Rosie, Ben shouted. Rosie started to swim to the van. What's that in the water behind her? Asked Alice. Is it Ludo? Asked Ben. No, said Dan. That's a shark's fin, a big one. Rosie shouted. Ben, swim faster. Rosie swam as fast as she could, but she couldn't swim faster than the shark, and she knew it. The shark was coming closer and closer. Dan got ready to jump in. He had to help Rosie, but how? He didn't know, but he had to try. Before they dived in, a great head came up out of the water next to Rosie. It was Ludo. The dolphin was here to help her. Rosie put both of her hands around the dolphin's fin. Go, she shouted. Ludo kicked his tail and started swimming to the vet. It wasn't easy, but Rosie held onto the fin. Swim, Ludo, shouted Dan. You can do it. Ben turned and said, Grandpa, can we move the van closer? It is really yet. Grandpa was too busy to look up. In 1 minute, he answered. But did Rosie have 1 minute? The shark could swim faster than Ludo. It was behind Rosie and the dolphin, and it was coming closer and closer. Chapter 5. Suddenly, Ludo dived under the water. Rosie tried to hold onto his feet, but she couldn't. She saw other gray shapes in the water. Was it the shark? More gray shapes swam past her. What was happening? 4 or 5 new dolphins were here. One swam and hit the shark with its nose. Then the other dolphin did the same thing. In the van, Dan was watching it all. The shark is swimming away, he said. Long helped Rosie to get out of the water. Rosie, we were very frightened.
Yes, frightened.
Said Alice. I was frightened too.
Just frightened.
Frightened. It's here.
Yes, it's the same.
But you say frightened.
Not frightened. I didn't say that. Just frightened. Okay, no, just come on. The same word, frightened. Once again.
2, said Rosie, but Ludo and the other dolphins were fasting.
Fantastic, right?
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
What's that in your hand, Rosie? Asked Alice. Rosie looked down. It's the radio that was on Ludo's feet, she said. She turned to Dan. I'm sorry it broken when Ludo was pulling me in the water. That's okay, said Dan. He pointed to Ludo, who was swimming close to the van. He's smiling, said Ben. The children could see the other dolphins in the water too. It was following Ludo with the radio because he hasn't lived in the sea for a long time, said Dan. He didn't have any friends then. They smiled. But he has friends now. Ludo came up high out of the water. He's saying goodbye, said Alice. Goodbye, Ludo, said Dan. They watched as Ludo and his new dolphin friends turned and swam out to together to deeper water. It's
Yeah.
over. Goodbye.
Okay,
please,
but can yes.
please share for me. Like. Goodbye.
Okay, can I ask you a question? Who is Ludo? It's a new one, right?
Ludo is a dolphin.
Is a dolphin? What happened to him? What happened?
He is under the water.
Under the water?
But
He got stuck in the water.
goodbye.
Okay, thank you.